Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for this video. I'm always excited to film this video, but I feel like it has been such a long time since I filmed one, which is insane because it's like literally been a month, but it feels like August was so incredibly long, and I am just really getting ready for fall and all of the comfy cozy vibes and the fall reads and stuff. So I've been really excited about picking a new TBR. I am still going to try to pick like a couple maybe like last minute summer things. Like we're not going to go full sprint into fall reads and everything, but it's definitely probably where I'm going to be leaning because I've been really excited about them. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it. First, we're going to start off with my book club book for the month. I don't currently have the physical copy of this, but I'm going to be getting it very soon because like I've been wanting to read this book for so long. I am part of a book club on Fable that Emmy Reads here on YouTube runs, and they picked The Poppy Wars by R.F. Kuang for September's buddy read, and I can't wait. This has been a series that I've been wanting to read for years at this point, I think. It always catches my eye whenever I'm in the store and I see it, and I'm like, something is even keeping me from buying it, and I'm not really sure what. If we didn't, it's been on like a couple different polls for the book club, and if we hadn't gotten to it this year, I was gonna put it on my my like priority TBR for next year, but now I don't have to because we're gonna get into it. And I've heard it's a stunning trilogy. I've heard it's really devastating. I really don't know too much about it other than that it's an adult fantasy, and I think it's kind of how I'm gonna go into it. I kind of want to go into it a little bit blind, so that's going to be my first book for the month. It's giving immaculate already, and I'm here for it. Then I just randomly pick my other three like non-negotiable books for the month. My Agatha Christie for the month is going to be Sleeping Murder. This is apparently Miss Marple's last case, which is sad. She's one of Agatha Christie's main protagonists aside from Hercule Poirot. I have no idea what the premise for this is. Older books sometimes just don't put them on the back, so yeah, we're going into this one blind too, apparently, which is fine because sometimes reading the descriptions for Agatha Christie novels can get convoluted and confusing, so sometimes it just makes more sense just to go in not really expecting anything specific. Then my Mary Higgins Clark for the month is going to be A Cry in the Night. This says when Jenny Portland meets the man of her dreams while working in a New York art gallery, she's ecstatic. Painter Eric Kruger, whose exquisite landscapes are making him a huge success, is handsome, sensitive, and utterly in love with her. They marry quickly, and Jenny plans a loving home on Eric's vast Minnesota farm. But lonely days and eerie nights strain her nerves to the breaking point and test her sanity. Caught in a whirlpool of shattering events, Jenny soon unearths a past more terrifying than she dares imagine. Tragic secrets that threaten her marriage, her children, her life. I'm actually kind of excited for this one because typically her stories revolve around like more the Northeast area, specifically like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. That's where a lot of the ones that I've read so far have all been featured. So I'm excited to go sort of out of that area, go out to Minnesota, something that's less city inclined. Like this is giving kind of creepy, and she doesn't normally do like creepy on this level, so this could be really perfect for starting to get into fall reads. And then my classic for the month is going to be Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. Moving past that and into my favorite part, and what I think everybody's favorite part is if you enjoy these videos, is picking my TBR prompts. We're gonna go with 6, that way there's a nice round number of 10 on my TBR for the month. I think that's pretty doable. We all know I like to veer off of my TBR. 10 is an achievable number while still giving me a little bit of leash to, you know, just do my own thing and completely disregard the rules that I've set for myself that month. So, first prompt. We're gonna try showing the camera again, even though it never wants to focus. See? We're not gonna focus. Okay, I tried. We're done with that. A book with a skeleton on the cover. This is great. I know I said we were gonna not dive into fall reads to this extent, but apparently we're just going full throttle on this one. Would it be better for like Halloween? Probably, but that's okay. So I put this one in here knowing I didn't have many covers with skeletons on them. So I think I only have really one option that I'm going to grab really quick, if I can remember where on my shelf behind you it currently is. So this is the one that came to mind when I made this prompt, and then I was like, this might be the only one with a skeleton on the cover. I still think that stands. I'm okay with it because I've been wanting to get into this. This is The Fabric of Our Souls. I actually have 2 copies of this because I loved her other copy too, and that was going out of print. yeah, so this says, I'm 26 years old and I want to die. Waking up alive in the hospital with my brother weeping over me is the moment that everything changes. He has me committed to Harlow's Sanctum, an unusual rehabilitation center with an unorthodox method and a storied past. There I meet my roommate, a man with cruel eyes and a sense of humor even more morbid than my own. We're strangely drawn to each other. I crave death, he craves life. Can two people like us cure each other? I've heard that this is like a romance thriller type of thing. It's a dark romance, I do know that. They're set in, obviously, like, it sounds like it's a mental institute and they both have their own issues, so it's going to be a really toxic relationship probably, but I've also heard it's really hauntingly beautiful how they manage to sort of help each other heal in a really weird way. I don't know too much more about it. I'm just really excited. There's like page art on some of the chapters and everything because the author does like her own artwork, which I think is incredible. So I've been wanting to read her books for a while now. I have quite a few and I've been holding off on buying other ones because I wanted to see if I liked any of them. So I'm really glad that I finally got this on my TBR. So that was really easy. First prompt. Second prompt, a hockey romance. Okay. This is fun too because I wanted to start reading these once we got into like the colder months. Okay, so I have two that I picked. I technically have some dark romances that are a hockey romance. Two of them, I think. Yeah, at least two. But I try to do a range for my genres as much as I possibly can. So we're not going to pick those. I have just like the normal contemporary cutesy ones. We have Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer and The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I've heard incredible things about both of these. There's actually another one. Oh, I forget what the name of it is. That's like on my Kindle that I've been wanting to read because I've seen people raving about it, but I feel like I need to read these first because I actually own the physical copies of these. I don't know which one I want because I've heard such good things about both, but I do have the first three in this series. And I've heard really good things about this. So I feel like I should probably do The Deal by Elle Kennedy because everybody keeps telling me that I should. So this one is a college hockey romance. I think most of them are college hockey, but I could be completely wrong about that. And it follows Hannah and Garrett. It says that Hannah has finally found this guy that she's really interested in and she wants to get his attention. She doesn't really know how. Enter Garrett, who is struggling to maintain his GPA, which means that he's not going to be able to play hockey anymore if he can't keep it up. And him and Hannah decide to form this arrangement, like this, of course, like a fake dating arrangement, where she tutors him to help him get his GPA back up, and he is going to help try to make her crush jealous. This leads to them kissing one night, and it leads pretty much to like a one-night stand. And it says that she's willing to like leave it at that. He is not willing to leave it like that. It says now he just has to convince Hannah that the man she wants looks a lot like him. So it sounds like it's like he falls first and he falls harder, and I love that. I love seeing a man really try to like work for it if he's trying to prove himself to a woman that's like not really sold on him. I don't know, it's cute and I like that. So we'll see. Like I said, I've heard incredible things about this series, so I'm really happy to add that to the list. Starting off really good this month. Like, I'm excited. Well, all right. Ooh, this is a long prompt. Most recent addition to the physical TBR. Okay. Yay. I just got my August Fairy Loot box yesterday. And it's the adult and the YA combination. So technically, it could be either one of them. I'm just going to pick one because it's one that I've been wanting to read since I've heard about the premise of it, and that is, oh no, it's either Catabasis or Catabasis. I can't remember the proper pronunciation for this, by R.F. Kuang. This is that stunning Fairy Loot edition. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is about a grad student named Alice who wants to be the brightest mind in the field of analytic magic. Unfortunately, the only person that can really help her with that is her mentor, who dies. So what does she decide that she's going to do? Because apparently, like, this is just a huge inconvenience for her and she just can't have that. Her and her biggest rival decide that they are going to enter hell to go find her mentor. It says, but hell is not as the philosophers claim. Its rules are upside down, and if she's going to get out of there alive, she and Peter will have to work together. That is, if they can agree on anything. It's just such a fun premise. It's like, we're just gonna go into hell. Okay, you know, totally reasonable. I feel like it could give, like, I don't know if it's going to give Dante's Inferno vibes, where I think that's the right name, where it's like the different layers of hell and like the different levels. I don't know if it's going to do that. I love seeing people's depiction of what hell looks like to them because it's just always so different. Oh my gosh, wait, am I reading 2 Arthur Conan books this month? Okay, we're gonna go from not reading any of her books to reading 2. So, love that for me. I think that's fantastic. And we'll see if, like, that's a really big true test of whether or not I end up liking her as an author. So, yep, most recent edition for the TBR. Very excited about that. Especially because I do try to avoid adding like my super recent book purchases to my monthly TBR because I'm like, I should really focus on ones that have been on it longer. So yeah, love that. Love that so much. Okay, a sci-fi book. Okay, so I think for this one, I'm actually going to put the 3rd book in the Red Rising series on here, which is Dawnbringer, if I remember properly. I actually have been really wanting to get to this one. And I do have a long road trip coming up again in September, so it'll be the perfect time to listen to the audiobook. I love the audiobooks for this series, so we're gonna put that on. And I don't know anything about the 3rd book's premise. I couldn't tell you guys if I did because it would probably give away stuff for the 1st one. But everybody always says it's like Hunger Games, but set in outer space, which is an interesting idea. It definitely gives kind of like those trials aspect. It kind of gives like a academic setting because the main character ends up going to this school where he's like fighting to gain his status as one of the most elite people in this colony. But the whole idea of him going in the first place is that he's trying to overthrow the way that the current government runs because it puts people in different, pretty much like caste systems based off of colors. And his family was in like the lowest one, and they were actually told that like Mars was still uninhabitable. They lived like in an underground colony and everything. They did all of the work, and then some people were finding out that that actually wasn't the case. There were people that lived above ground. There were people that were able to live on other planets that they were told weren't inhabitable, and all this stuff. They were pretty much just being taken advantage of. So he is set on this quest to overthrow the way that things are, and it's so like the world is incredible. The plot, like it ends up going from like 0 to 100 so quickly, and it's really, really intense. A lot of like bloodshed and violence, but it's so good. I know it sounds silly, like bloodshed and violence. It's so good. Like I love it so much, and I never really expected to love a fantasy series, not a fantasy, a sci-fi series. So yeah, we're gonna put the 3rd one on the TBR. Only 2 more left, which is kind of crazy. Okay, a book with an orange cover. There we go. Something that I can get a little bit of variety on. Like that. Okay. I think we're gonna go for a thriller, mystery, suspense, thriller, something in that range, assuming that I can find one. So I actually found a couple, but some of the other ones were ones that I was like automatically, I don't want to read these right now. So I ended up going with Blessed Child by Ted Dekker. Used to love Ted Dekker books when I was in like high school. Best way I can describe his writing is like they're Christian suspense, sometimes horror. Like they get a little weird, but there's always a Christian element in them. And this one is about a young boy who was abandoned and raised in an Ethiopian monastery, never been outside of its walls at all. Now he must flee those walls or die. It says, but the world is hardly ready for a boy like Caleb. Relief expert Jason Marker agrees to take Caleb from the monastery, but he unwittingly opens humanity's doors to an incredible journey filled with intrigue and peril. Together with Leah, the French-Canadian nurse who escapes to America with them, Jason discovers Caleb's stunning power, but so do the boy's enemies, who will stop at nothing to destroy him. Jason and Leah fight for the boy's survival while the world erupts into a debate over the source of the boy's power. No idea what the power is. No idea. It must be pretty intense if like everybody kind of knows about it, but it's probably going to be mind-bendy. Like Ted Dekker books are always mind-bendy. Like it's the weirdest style of writing. It's the weirdest combination, like Christian thriller, Christian horror. Like it just doesn't sound like it would go together, but I remember really enjoying them. I had another Ted Dekker book on TBR a few months ago, never got to it, so still haven't re-experienced his writing to see whether or not I still enjoy it. I guess we're gonna find out hopefully this month, assuming that I stick to my TBR. And the last prompt, please be a good one. A book in a duology. Okay, book in a duology. Let's find, where's my phone? What series am I in the middle of right now? Or any of, I don't think I'm in the middle of any duologies, so that's slightly problematic. So I do have the Crimson Moth duology on my 25 and 2025 TBR. So I should probably get to that at some point. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that's a duology that I'm in the middle of. Like I suppose I could start a new duology, but I would prefer not to do that. Yeah, I think we're going to go for the Crimson Moth. Thankfully that was in the front of all of my books, so we're gonna go with the Crimson Moth. Okay, Lincoln. Don't tend to do 2 Fairy Loot or special edition books in a month because I try to listen to the audiobooks so I don't ruin the edges, but that is okay, that is not the point. This one is about a witch and a witch hunter. She is pretending in this world where witches are not welcome and they're actually hunted down. She's pretending that, obviously she's not a witch, but also that she is like just this rich, vapid socialite that really has like nothing going on, and by night she's actually going out and then she is trying to help save some of her people that are being hunted down and killed. I guess somebody starts maybe picking up some hints that she's a witch or that she could be helping them. So she decides, for some odd reason, that the best way to cover her tracks is to start courting the biggest, most well-known, most ruthless witch hunter in like their kingdom, realm, whatever you want to call it. She decides that that's a good idea. So it's this pretty much just like enemies to lovers story of the two of them who don't know anything about each other really, hiding identities from each other, and I think it's good. It should be pretty high stakes considering that if he finds out who she is, he's going to kill her. I have another book that's a similar premise. I think it's Blood and Honey. Never read that one either. So maybe once I finish this, I can try to read Blood and Honey sometime in the near future after finishing these two to see which premise or which plot ended up executing this premise better, but that is future planning. That is really not necessary to be doing right now. So with that, those are all the books that I'm going to be putting on my August TBR. At some point, I'm probably going to do a reading vlog without all of these books. We're gonna want to jump into like my fall TBR at some point. I'll do a video for that maybe halfway through August. Maybe try to get in some more summer reads that I really want to get to, but haven't gotten to. We'll see. I don't know. My brain is all over the place, but I do enjoy having a set TBR to try to hone in the madness a little bit. So we're gonna go through really quick. For my duology pick, I obviously picked the Crimson Moth. Hopefully you didn't already forget that since I just rambled about it. For an orange cover, we picked Blessed Child by Ted Dekker. I hate this cover, in all honesty, even if I like it. I'm probably gonna get rid of it and see if there's another cover because I don't, it's creepy. It's creepy. Then for a most recent TBR edition, we have Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, my second R.F. Kuang book on the TBR for the month. I'm so excited for this. Then for a hockey romance, we have The Deal by Elle Kennedy. My sci-fi book for the month is going to be whatever the third book in the Red Rising series is. I should probably actually figure that out so I can tell you guys the proper name for it. Morning Star. I don't think that's what I said originally, so it's called Morning Star. Anyway, and then a book with a skeleton on the cover is going to be The Fabric of Our Souls. And then, of course, my non-negotiables for the month, my classic is going to be Sense and Sensibility, my Agatha Christie is going to be Sleeping Murder, and then Mary Higgins Clark is A Cry in the Night, and then, like I said, my book club read for the month is going to be the first book in the Poppy trilogy. It is setting up to be a fantastic reading month. There are so many books on this list that I've been really excited to read for either a long time or just ever since they were announced, and I'm like, I need to read this immediately. So, yeah, I think we're setting up for hopefully a great introduction into the fall season with some of these. Anyway, that is going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did and you want to subscribe, that would be fantastic. If not, that's okay too. I will hopefully see you in another video very soon. Bye.